Good afternoon, Warren. Um, Doing the gratitude garden for this week, and I think this week um, really wanted to focus on our bus drivers. So we recently had a bus driver that retired as of Friday, Mr. Cotter, and he was everyone in the district from bottom up. One of the reasons why I love being in this district is everybody cares about the kids, is here for the kids. The bus drivers are a key piece to making the district function, and they have a really, really difficult job. Um, they are transporting these kids, upwards of 60 kids in a bus on very busy roads, having to um, go through some pretty complex routes. I've ridden the bus a few times, and some of the places where they have to turn around, and the hills they have to navigate, especially during the winter time. They're very talented as drivers, but also the level of patience and care that you have to try and drive safely in such a large vehicle, where one small mistake could potentially hurt the kids, but also, end up seriously hurting other people. You have a big responsibility on your shoulders, and on top of that, you're trying to manage the behavior of, kids who are crammed together in a really small space. A lot of kids. So I've had many conversations with the bus drivers over the years as we've had to navigate various behavior issues, and they really do, as frustrated as they can get sometimes with the things they have to deal with. They always, put the kids first, and sometimes it, requires taking a deep breath and working through the emotion first of a really intense bus ride, and then they come around and go from being like, this kid needs to be written up to, never mind, let's give them another chance. Let's, when they don't need to do that, they really do. They work with us to try and help these kids succeed in the best way possible. And it's not an easy job. And I think too, Mr. Cotter's retirement, it's just another reminder for me to the importance of gratitude on a daily basis, just for the simple things. He went through a very scary time last year where, his life was, in jeopardy. And that's kind of what prompted the retirement, because he realized, and it's easy to forget as we go through life. But it really dawned upon him, and really became apparent that, anything can happen at any moment. We're not here forever. And life is short. And so he is taking a much deserved retirement and moving on to a different walk of his life, and is planning on enjoying the time that he has left, and focusing on himself. And I think that's something that we too often as people, we get so wrapped up in our work and cultural expectations, and expectations of friends, family, peers, colleagues, that sometimes we forget to think about us. We forget to be appreciative of what we have. We forget to be in the moment. We forget that, we might not be here tomorrow. Doesn't matter how old you are. So make sure you take advantage of every moment you have. And so you got to find that balance of, and which is like a pivotal thing in all things, is balance in everything. Like you don't want too much of any one thing. You don't want to be too selfish, but it's okay to be selfish. You don't want to be too selfless and never give time to yourself. But you do want to be selfless. You do want to give back to others. That is important. So finding that balance, and just checking in, once in a while and reminding yourself we're human, we're mortal, we're temporary. And so how do I make sure that my life is one that I can appreciate, one that I can be thankful for, one that I won't regret? It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to keep in mind, and especially when you're young, it's harder. It is really hard to think about that. It's hard to truly understand the implications of that. Once you have kids, all of a sudden that becomes a little bit more real to you. Then as you get older, it gets more and more real. And then as you get more life experiences, maybe the passing of a loved one, there are all these things that help bring that more and more to the forefront over time. So I'm just really appreciative that, I am here, I am healthy, I've got a great district that I get to work for, I've got a wonderful family, and I also appreciate that I think my district that we work for, RSU40, from the bottom on up, do recognize the importance of self-care, of the fact that work is work. It is important work that we do. It's valuable work that we do. But the people who are working are also human. They have families, they have lives outside of work. And so I think the administration and the central office staff in our district do a really good job of trying to practice that in the best way possible, and reminding people to, set some boundaries. You can put work down when you get home. It's okay. Think about yourself. It's okay to take time for your family. You don't need to be working 24 hours a day around the clock. You are allowed to live your life and be part of your family. And, I don't have to feel bad about taking a self-care day or a personal day or a sick day. And that's not always been the case in all of my jobs. And I know many people work jobs where they don't feel like that's the case. And anytime I have felt that pressure in this district, it's been pressure I put on myself. It has not been pressure that has been put on me by others, by supervisors or colleagues. So I think our district is every year is really realizing that the students are people, that the parents are people, the teachers are people, the bus drivers, the lunch ladies, the ed techs, the administration. We're all just people. We're all humans. We're trying to do the best we can to get by. And so I think that's something I truly value and I'm truly grateful for. And each year we seem to make more and more progress towards making this job feel great in that regard. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.